my little corner where there's no wrong way to play with paper. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that today I find you happy and blessed and in your crafty space having a good time. And if not, I hope you get in there soon. We are organizing the dreaded photo organization, but this is video 3 of organizing photos, and I'm going to show you how I organize my physically printed photos. And then I will have one more video on how I organize photos for a project. And I'm hoping that it gives you a lot of inspiration and ideas. Maybe my way's not the right way for you, but maybe something I do will give you an idea of how to do it a way that does work for you. So this is a hop. I have lots of friends that organize all kinds of stuff in their crafty space. So if you want to watch organizing videos, you're in the right video. Just look in the description and there's a one click and you'll see lots of organization. I want to thank all of my crafty friends for doing that with me. Let's just get started. I'm going to flip this camera around and it is the bane of my existence, organizing photos, but it's part of scrapbooking. So let's get to it. All right, my friends, let's get started. So this is the third part of organizing photos. I saved out the last one. We talked about digital photos and how I store those and what I'm doing. And I showed you how I turned one of these into storage for that. And so if you store your photos digitally, I encourage you, maybe it'll inspire you. It might not be the way you end up doing it, but it might inspire you. I used what I had and I made it work. So I have tons of these boxes and you're going to see why. This is the way I am going to, and this is the way I will do it from here on out. All right. But I still have a lot of photos from back in the day and some that I print now and then, and so forth that I need to sort. So how do I do that? Well, I have these photo boxes and I actually I'll grab my actual photo box here. Okay, so I have all of these, but they all go inside of, now this is kind of hard to show, one of these, okay? And you just open this here, it pops open. Now, I do have these in my Amazon under organization, but you can get them wherever you like. I like these ones because I can store so many, and these handles are sturdy. I can't remember how much they are, to be honest with you, but they are in the link for Amazon that I put in every video. With that said, just look up photo storage. You will find lots of different options. They make smaller versions of these, which you'll see in the future, the next video with me, that I use for projects when I'm working on a project. Like for next month, I'm going to do Football Frenzy. So I need to sort and have all of those photos ready. And I'm going to show you how I do that for projects. But this is for long time printed storage. Sometimes they're ones I've already done. Sometimes they're ones that I just need to store a long time because they're so old before we went digital and that kind of things. And then some of them are for photos that I just haven't had a chance to get to. The grammar is awesome, isn't it? So anyway, so this is what I use to put all of these little ones in. You saw all the little ones. And some of them have multicolor. I mean, you know, whatever I get, if I find them on sale, I'll buy polka dot ones. I don't care because I use them so much. And I probably have a total of 6 of these and probably 4 small ones. The small ones are for my projects and the big ones are for long-term storage. Okay. So here's how I do this. Right now, this is my current state. I have this basket on my desk, all right? And this is what I'm working on most of the time. I am not a chronological scrapper. I am once in a while, like I'm getting ready to do Football Frenzy. It's all my oldest son's football pictures. But in general, I get bored. I get bored. You guys have seen me like Jill's Sweet 16. That was a whole project. By the time I was done with that, I was over Sweet 16. But in general, like I said, I'm not a chronological scrapper, so it is important that I have things dated and labeled and be organized, and I'm okay with that. I love that anyway. I pretty much keep them sorted, but once this basket gets full, it is time for Ginger to put them in the closet in one of those large storage containers, right? With all of these. I'm just going to kind of show you, and I am going to give you an idea of the way I used to do it before I invested in these. You know, Janet Madison once said, you need to look at your things for crafting as inventory. This is inventory. That's what this is. This is part of my inventory. And so I guess I just look at it as an investment, not as an expense. And because it is going to bless my babies one day. They're going to have them sorted. I know, I'm a sap, but my father died when I was really small, and I would do anything to have photos. I wasn't small. I was young. I was 21. Small. Well, I was a lot smaller than I am now. But my father passed away very young, and he didn't get to see all my kids grow up. And I don't have that tangible photo of him to share. And so I want my kids to have that when my time comes and I'm going to see my Heavenly Father, which I'm ready. Let's go. But I want them to have that. I don't want them to have to dig and scratch and claw to get some. And next year you are going to be seeing me do photos of my dad. I think I'm finally ready. Crazy. It's been 30 years, but I just couldn't do it. I can do it now, and I'm gathering vintage heritage kind of supplies to do that. That's a whole other squirrel. But let's talk about what I do and how I sort these to put them away. So this basket is empty again before I start my football frenzy, okay? So these in general, sometimes they're photos that I've already sorted, okay? I went back and these are all fall photos from 2011 of my family and my babies. And you guys seen me scrap these this year, right? These were already sorted. And so what I do is they end up in here, okay? Sometimes they need to be scrapped more than once. And so hence the reason I have more than one. We've had this discussion. I have 5 kids. So there's always something that needs to be done. I still have a few I need to do in this, and I do have a list in a notebook. That's another thing altogether. I don't want to confuse anyone. So then what I would do here, okay, I just get these they're tabs. That's it. And I would write on here. I probably should write on there before I stick it on there. Okay, 2011 fall, or fall 2011, whatever floats your goat or your boat, or I don't know, do goats float? I don't know. And then this goes here. Now I put it here. Whoops, is this here? So with this tab, because let me show you. Now I already have one of these for that year, so I'm just going to put that in it. But then I would take oh my goodness. I didn't close this all the way. So I would take this, and these are in order by season. Sometimes I even put the date on them, but then they go in here, right? And then they would all be in order. So might be 2010, 29, but they go in chronological order. And I do have one of these that is full, and it does have the date like this, but then it'll have a second tab that says scrapped. Once it is scrapped, it goes in a whole other bin. And they are in chronological order too. Because once I've scrapped all of them, I don't need to keep every single photo. I have learned over the 25 plus years of scrapbooking, I don't need to scrap every single photo I've ever taken. And let me tell you, as a scrapbooker, that was a hard pill to swallow. Because I wanted to. I felt like I needed to. And I think that has to go with my personal missing my dad and having lost people at a very young age. I just wanted to scrap every single thing. Well, I can probably scrap 3 photos for each kiddo and get the story, right? The journaling is part of the scrapbooking, and I had to really embrace that, or I would have hundreds of these. 5 kids, y'all. You do the math, right? 5 times 5 of each photo is a lot of printing photos and a lot of money. And so don't be afraid to omit and not long-term store things once you've scrapped the story. It's okay. Maybe keep the main photo or 2 of the photos. And again, that was a very hard thing for me, like super, super hard. So this is how I store my long-term photos now. These are waterproof, so if something were to happen, there was an accident, in general, if I could probably clean it up fast enough, right? And here's why that happened. I'm going to show you the way I used to store them, okay? Watch your eyeballs. It's going to feel like it's coming in on you. So that's how that goes. And then see, you can even see the labels through these containers, which I absolutely love because I can just kind of look. I do once, this is a brand new one that I got, but I will put a label here of the years that are in it once it's full. And then they're sitting like this, stacked against each other, right? So like, we're going to pretend this is a ginormous one, and it'll say like 2011, 2012. I usually get 3 years in one of these, but sometimes there's more photos than others. So it is what it is, right? Here's how I used to do it. Now, maybe you don't have those, and that's okay. You don't have to have those, all right? When I store my photos in this basket, I sort them. Okay, these, you'll know that recently, these are all, we took family photos, and these are all of those printed. So they go this way. Then the next one I store in there, this way. Doesn't mean it always stays perfect, but it helps me when I go to do this, all right? So these are my family photos. Then I would take a piece of paper, and I would get just a regular photo box. I'm gonna grab one here in just a second and show you. And I would go like this, okay? Come on now, work with me. And 8.5, 11, whatever. Go to the Dollar Tree and buy a notebook and rip out the pages. And I would sort them like this, all right? Let me grab my photo box, and you'll see how I have them in there. I'll go grab that right quick. I should have grabbed it before, but you know, I'm never prepared around these here parts. Okay, so here's the photo box, right? Remember these? And these are so old. Oh, yeah, that was genius, Ginger. So they have the little labels on there. Remember how we used to have these printed like this? I mean, I still need to put these in a in one of the clear containers, but I can only afford so many at a time. Literally have a ton of photos, but I'm down to only having 3 of these. Okay, I have them like this, and all you're doing when you put this like this, okay, is you're creating these envelopes we used to got. You could even get, what is with me and the word God today? You could even get 6x9 card envelopes and do it that way if you want. You can get dividers, like a recipe index. You could make your own with your scrappy supplies, right? But I would divide them out. They're sorted, and then they would go in the appropriate spot, whatever the case may be. I do have dividers in some of mine. Like I said, I'm only down to 3 of these, and everything else I now have in those storage photo box, plastic boxes. That's how I store my physically printed photos. Okay, guys, look, this is my oldest son. You're about to see him, so you're gonna know that's me. This is my oldest daughter, Jessie Joy. Does she not look like her sister, Jillian? I mean, yeah. This is Jasmine Marie, and this is James. And like I said, you're about to see a lot of James. This is Kinsley's daddy. Oh, how cute is that? They're just so sweet. I'm just such a sucker. This is my oldest daughter, Jessica. Remember we used to cut photos? But, see, and I just wrote on them, December 97. Should we look at these? Should we? Oh, look. Remember this table? This was the first house I bought. That is Jasmine Marie. And this was her birthday. Yeah, look how big these photos are. Holy moly. Oh, they're so big. I was all about bibs with my babies. So this was, and Jasmine's birthday is December 12th. So that's why it says December. And even better is I know in here I have the films. Look, isn't that crazy? I'm just not willing to part with these. These are vintage now. I'm vintage. What happened? I'm so sad. Oh goodness, these are of Jessie Joy. These are even older, probably 94, 95. Yeah, there's 98. Okay, so these are ones I've already scrapped, but they're keepsake. Like, I do need to put them into that. But like I said, I'm just buying, every time I see it on sale on Amazon, I buy one of those and I get rid of a box. So I should be down to one box by the time I fill this one up. I'm kind of excited about that. I would encourage you, because I've moved several times and these do break down over time, and these photo boxes are heavy duty, but they're only going to last so long. And whether we like it or not, and whether it's good for the environment or not, these are precious to me. And the plastic lasts longer and it is more sturdy. So that is how I physically store my photos, right? So I have kind of three systems. I have scrapped, already done, right? I have ones that are sorted by the year that I need to do, that I put in here, right? This is the summer even for Julie Joe. And I label them and put them inside of there. And then you're going to see in the next video, I do them by project. We're going to sort. So when I am doing my project, I have all the photos there and I can complete it. Now that is my most rare, because again, I'm not a chronological scrapper. I'm just not. It's not my thing. But when I do have a project, I do want to get it done, and I want it completed. So there's that. I hope that gives you ideas. I would love for you to share with me in the comments how you store them. Do you store them in photo boxes still? Are you converting to the digital? Are you going to plastic like I do? Are you going to not having any physical photos at all? I don't think I will never not have physical photos, but I do know that I'm not going to have near as many as I used to now that I'm going more digital. And I have a photo printer now, the Epson 400, which a couple of people have asked me that, so I wanted to share that. That's what I have, and I love it. I love it because I can print what I need. And what I don't need to print. Now, for the football frenzy, when I have literally hundreds of photos of my son, and that is not an exaggeration. He was huge, football player, and he was good. Like, he was really good. I have newspaper articles and I have so much to scrap. So now those, I'm going to send them to print. It would cost me more in ink and paper, so I am going to be printing those. But if I just, everyday life, which is what I love to scrap in general, not just big moments, birthdays and holidays and trips. I love everyday life because I'm gonna try not to cry. Everyday life is what fills my heart. And that's why we scrap, right? So that's what I want in my books. And that's why it's so hard for me not to scrap every single photo. But that's just me. Maybe your way is different. And by commenting and sharing, you are encouraging others and you are giving them ideas. So please, I really do encourage you to do that and give me ideas too. So let's do this together. I will get the next video up before the end of the month because we have to start Football Frenzy in December, and it will be a lot of fun. And I really, truly, truly hope that you are inspired. Maybe you don't have football photos, but maybe you have an occasion. I personally am going to be doing 30 days of sketches from this last round because I didn't have time to do it. But I have found when I have a big project, I like to use sketches, and we'll talk about that more when we're sorting the photos. I hope you'll come hang out with me. Be blessed and have an amazing day. I will see you next time. Bye.